Hi, my name is Nestor Osman, one of the coordinators for Master Guy Outdoors, an activity of the North American division. They asked me to share with you some training on backpacking, and I decided to share the backpacking honor. So let's start! The first requirement for the backpacking honor says, discuss with your instructor the meaning of the motto, take nothing but pictures and leave nothing but footprints. I like to relate this requirement with the reason why you are going for a backpacking trip. In my personal experience, I love to go to the nature because it's a lot of life, the fresh air, the colors, and also to disconnect from my daily life in front of a screen. And that's really nice for me. Also, I love to see the design. Everything in nature is part of a design, a master plan, and to go to the nature helped me to connect with the designer, which is God or creator. So that's why I love to go to nature. Because of that, I respect that nature. I believe that creation is like the backyard of God. And I respect that God, so I respect His creation also. With that said, take care of nature in every possible way. Try to avoid fire if you can. Bring a little stove instead, or bring a little shovel to cover everything you do when you go to the bathroom. And try to prevent. Bring absolutely everything you are taking in the forest, bring it out to the civilization. Bring extra garbage bags so you can take care of everything and leave it cleaner than when you find it, when you arrive. Also, if you find garbage that is not yours, you can collect it and bring it back to the civilization. Don't expect for others to do it. You had to give the first step and move forward, and yes, basically take nothing but pictures and leave nothing but footprints. The second requirement for the backpacking honor is related to clothing. Know the essentials of proper clothing, shoes and rain gear to use in backpacking. The main two groups for that are basically warm weather clothing and cold weather clothing. And the word warm weather clothing is supposed to be easier because it is less equipment, and we will start talking about hiking shoes. There are three kinds of hiking shoes: the trail runner, the hiking shoes, and the hiking boot. And it depends who you talk with, they will have a different preference. The first group, the trail runner, those are for people that like to run in the mountains, in the wilderness, in the trails, and these are super light, super comfortable, but again, are not, if you are carrying weight, if you are carrying a backpack, these are not the best because are not made for heavy weight. The boots are the other extreme. Those are solid, those are very safe for you to walk. You will never bend an ankle with that, and you will never feel the rocks in the trail and things like that, but those are kind of heavy. And in the middle, in kind of a balance, will be the hiking shoes, which are my favorite. Doesn't mean that work for everybody, but for me those work because, you know, sometimes my back plays against me, and those are light but at the same time are safe and work really well for the mountain, for the different kind of environments. If you are talking about snow, and that will be another honor, winter camping, winter camp honor. For those, you really need boots. You cannot avoid that. Then cotton socks, those are the ones that will keep you kind of dry, are more comfortable than synthetic socks. Bring at least 1 or 2 pairs for a day of hiking. Sports underwear, that will prevent injuries. Hiking pants. Hiking pants are basically pants that are comfortable and at the same time will dry fast in case of rain, that you had to be walking during the rain, and or crossing a creek, or different kind of situations. Some people prefer elastics, like a really tight cloth. It is good to prevent those. I don't like those because sometimes the trail can get narrow and the bushes and the thorns will create, it will be like a threat for you. And this kind of pants, the regular pants, will protect you from that, but the elastics will not. Cotton t-shirts, regular cotton t-shirts, at least one by day. And these are clothes for hiking only, not for sleeping. I will talk about that later. And a hat, sunglasses, sunscreen protection, different kind of things that will keep you safe. And if you are in a tropical area, mosquito repellent, and that will be more than enough. I'm not talking about equipment here, it's just about clothing. And now talking about cold weather clothing, we have to understand that there is not for superhumans to sleep in the snow. It is everything about technique. There are entire cities that are in a very cold weather, and those cities are okay. The people there are not superhumans, they are just people that get used to wearing a certain way to enjoy the weather also. Now, talking about the cold weather, we had to talk about that technique. What is the technique? It's no other than layers. So let's start with the first layer. The first layer will be a lot of wool, starting with sock wools. These socks should be thick enough to keep you warm, and that will be the first layer. You can use this kind of socks with ski boots or boots or whatever you're using. Then you have the long thermal underwear, pants and shirt. I have these that are made of smart wool or merino wool, which is a wool that is super comfortable to the skin. It is thin, but at the same time is warm and will last for many years. And that will be the first layer. Also, you will use the same thing to sleep in the night. Not the same clothes, but the same kind of clothes. You should have two sets, one for the day and one for the night. And the one for the night, you will use it just for sleeping, nothing else. So the technique to sleep warm will be to change all your clothes before going to sleep, and then change back as soon as you wake up. In that way you will stay dry, and because of that you will stay warm. And I will talk a little bit more about that in the winter camp honor. A wool hat, in this case I don't have wool hat, I have a fleece hat, which is okay also, that covers everything. You don't need to be fashion, you just need to be efficient. Wool gloves, in this case I have fleece gloves that are okay as a first layer. Again, doesn't mean that this is everything that you are wearing. You can have a second layer and even a third layer. And then that's it. That's enough for the first layer. The second layer is insulation. It will keep you warm, but at the same time had to release off all the wet from your body. So you start with hiking pants, which are the same hiking pants that you will use for a summer hike. By the way, talking about summer hike, I like long pants because, to prevent poison ivy, thorns and different kind of things, insects and things like that. Hiking pants will be the second layer. Then you have the insulation jacket, which is basically fleece jacket. Any fleece jacket will make it. There are some that are more thick than others, and I like hoodie then you have an extra protection for your head. So you have polyester fleece, down insulated jackets, synthetic insulated jackets. Everything works well. I prefer the fleece because it's cheaper, but you can decide what you want, and it is okay. For the second layer, I will use also to keep warm. I like to cover my face with this kind of mask. Thank you. And also to cover my face while I'm sleeping, I like to use a ski mask. This is wool and this is fleece. The ski mask is really useful because then you don't have to worry, if you will breathe the super cold air in the night or not, because this will just allow your eyes to be discovered, and even that you can cover that too. And you can say, yeah, but I'm a tropical country and I don't need this kind of mask. You know what? I've been there also, and this is useful to prevent insects to enter your mouth, nose, or ears. A mask, really useful. Then we go to the third layer. The third layer will be the layer that will protect you from the elements, from the weather. And for that you will have, basically I just brought one, which is my rain jacket, which will protect you from the wind and the rain, and will be enough. Of course, with a hood and full protection. Gore-Tex is usually a good fabric for that. There are different kind of Gore-Tex, different kind of brands have different kind of fabrics, but the idea is to let your sweating go out and prevent the water to get in. So the third layer will be comfortable snow boots, something that you had to think about it, with an insulation, a nice insulation, and waterproof pants and jacket. Yes, if you are working in the snow, you will need more than just the jacket. You will need waterproof pants or snow pants. Those are different. What is the difference? The waterproof pants will be only the waterproof fabric, but the snow pants will have also extra insulation inside. That will be even a fourth layer if you want, or probably you will use it instead of the waterproof pants. There is a reality also that even if you are in a cold weather, when you are walking, your body will warm up and you will start thinking, okay, I will need to take something out because I'm starting to sweat, and you don't want to do that in a minus 40 degrees temperature. And that's why the layers are really good, because you can take always a little bit out and try and combine, open your zip and do different configurations and feel comfortable again. Finally, winter gloves. On top of this, you can always use some waterproof gloves or pythons, different things that you can use to cover. Okay, then you don't need to spend a lot of money buying a super expensive glove. The same thing, the same principle works with the sleeping bags. I will talk a little bit more about that, but you can purchase minus 40 Fahrenheit or minus 40 Celsius, which is the same sleeping bag, for a lot of money, and you will not feel so comfortable as using layers in the sleeping bag. You can take two cheap sleeping bags, cheap but normal sleeping bag, let's say, put it one inside the other, and you will have the same protection. Finally, I had to talk about the rain gear. A nice poncho, a super cheap poncho will have the job done, and those are super small and you can carry that in a pocket. Okay, so we are fine. That's it. That's about clothing layers.